YouTube, happy Easter. This right now, while I'm recording this is Easter Eve, the night before Easter, and I was not planning to get home from a long day and record a short little snippet, but here I am. I had some things on my mind and I wanted to just get them out and hopefully maybe post this maybe on Easter. The first thing I want to just share is I have an ostomy, and this whole channel is about overcoming your obstacles in life and thriving, right? I want everybody to go live again. I want you to fight for a full life. I want you to embrace the battle, embrace the hard things, and push on, because I think there's a lot of life in front of you. But I only have that intense, passionate perspective because I've gone through quite a few trials myself. I went through a long health battle, and I'm not going to document that today. I've done that before and I will do it again, but I almost lost my life a couple times. There were several times during my 2 to 3 year health journey that I was really, really sick, and the doctors, they said I was really fighting for my life in some regards. And it's really uncomfortable for me to say that and to admit that, because I feel like I'm exaggerating, but I was in bad shape on multiple occasions, and I'm just really grateful to be here. And I say that on Easter Eve because I'm a man of faith, and my faith got me through that journey, and that faith sustains me, and that faith is why I live the way I live. And I just want to share that life is short, and you might be super healthy, you might be young, and you might be, just optimistic about life, and I hope you are, and I hope you have a great long life in front of you. But I just want to remind you that you don't control your future. You don't control what happens tomorrow. You really can't even control this moment. And so I'm just coming to you just as a soft reminder to focus on the right things. Make sure you prioritize the right things in your life. And for me, one of those things is faith. And maybe faith isn't important to you, and maybe it's something you say you'll get to in the future, and it's just not important right now in this season. And I would just lovingly nudge you and just say, you don't know if you have the next season. Your life is not guaranteed. Life is just a fleeting vapor. We cannot control it, and it's ignorant, especially while we're younger. We think we are guaranteed a long, healthy life, and that's not necessarily the case. So I just want to remind you lovingly to focus on the right things and make sure you're prioritizing the right things in your life. I was listening to a podcast just the other day, and the podcaster talked about what he called the value action gap. A lot of us state that we have these values in our life. Maybe it's family and work, and it's our faith, and it's our friendships, and whatever our values are, we state that we have this value, but then our actions are over here, right? There's this big gap between our values and our actions. We say one thing and we do another. And so I think tonight it's just a great time for us to reassess what are the values that we want to have in our life? What are the values that we say we have? And then where are our actions? Are we actually living with integrity? Are we shortening that gap? And maybe this will just encourage you to just focus on that gap and actually live the way you say you live, or fulfill your values. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect, but maybe it's a season where you can tighten it up. And if your family is important to you, will actually mean it. Give them meaningful energy and intention, and maybe put your phone down and focus on your family. And if your faith's important to you, maybe that means getting back into your Bible and into prayer and going to church again. Let's tighten that value action gap. And if it's not important to you, just say it's not important to you. But let's not lie to ourselves. That's a dangerous thing, is to lie to yourself. Another thing that as I just think about my day, we had a fantastic day. We went to Disney on Ice with our 3 kids, and then we went and had Easter with some extended family, and it was just a long, great day. But admittedly, with an ostomy, those types of days can be a battle. I can't control my food. I can't control where the bathrooms are. And there's a lot of times, especially when we're out with 3 young kids, I'm telling my wife, like, hey, I'm gonna have to abandon you for a minute. Can you contain our 3 young kids by yourself in a strange place with people you don't know around you, right? Like, it's just, as a man, you're the protector, you're the provider, and to kind of have to briefly abandon them to go to the bathroom on a whim and then come back, it makes for long days. And right now I'm in a season of life where I've got my new job, where I'm building my book as a wealth manager. I'm building my business for Armor Bands. I'm building a beautiful family. I've got a lot going on. Like, there's very little downtime, and it's been a struggle to genuinely be present. But I'm starting to see some success. I'm starting to mentally just be where my feet are. And so that's another thing I just want to lovingly share today, is just be where your feet are. I'm sure you're busy just like me. You've got a serious job, you've got your family, you've got your fitness, whatever is important to you that you're trying to take care of. And we all have a lot of, things going on in life. But I think we have a tendency to be distracted, and we're not where our feet are. And it's really easy because our phones, they constantly are begging for our attention. And so I would just encourage you, no matter how busy you are, be where your feet are. The last thing that I'm just going to be vulnerable, and I admittedly, I'm starting to enjoy creating YouTube videos more, but I hate it at the same time because I feel like I'm not good at it. And I'm getting that feeling because I don't see a lot of views, right? Like, I'm putting this time and energy and effort into something that is not successful by the world standards. And it's just that, it's the world standards. And so I'm either doing this for a greater purpose or I'm not. And so I'm trying to remind myself that discipline is hard, right? Like, I feel like I'm a man of discipline, but in reality, discipline isn't sexy. Discipline is taking the long way. It's not taking the shortcuts. It's not getting the immediate gratification. It's not always seeing the immediate results you want to see. So I'm sure you can relate to that in some regard right now. Discipline is hard, and I just want both of us to stay the course. Stay the course. Discipline is the way. Hard work is the way forward. But there's going to be a lot of times where it's just monotonous and you don't see the reward. You wonder if it's worth it. And certainly there are times where we need to, abandon a project or abandon something where we do need to deviate. However, most of the time it's just discipline takes a long time. Hard work takes a long time, and it takes longer than we think. Especially because we've been trained by technology that things should happen fast. So our minds have been skewed. They've been re-hardwired to believe that everything happens quickly, when in reality it doesn't. So it's likely going to take 5 times longer than you think. What comes to my mind in this moment is anytime I say I'm going to do a project around the house that involves like tools, it always takes 3 extra trips to Home Depot, and it takes about 5 hours longer than I expected, right? Like, I think, hey, this project's gonna be easy. It's gonna take about 2 hours. Man, I can do this real quick. This is an easy project. And, 7 hours later, and I've gone to Home Depot a couple times, and, that's life though, right? That metaphor, that example, that is how our life goes, is it takes longer. It takes extra help. It takes extra love and grace and effort and all the things. So I hope this little 10 minutes was impactful to you. Happy Easter. Remember, life is short. Focus on the right things. One of those things in my life is my faith. Make sure you're tightening that value and action gap. Live and be about the things you say you want to be about. Be about it. Actually do it. Be present. Be where your feet are. If you're having a conversation with your wife, be present. If you're working on your business, be present. And lastly, discipline is hard. It's going to take a lot longer than you want, than you think, but that's the way. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great Easter. Be full.